What's up, everyone? So, today I'm going to talk about fear of missing out, which is part of a series I'm going to do on trading psychology. So, what does it really mean? So, fear of missing out is an anxiety or feeling that you get when you see someone being profitable or you see a price action. And there's more to it, perhaps, but for me, I found that seeing other people's P&L really affected or triggered me without realizing. So I say this because the first part of this year, I started trading properly, and unfortunately, instead of taking small size, I started taking bigger and bigger size and funding my account with savings that I had. And as a result, I ended up losing all of that money and putting myself in a drawdown, which I'm still in within that drawdown. But what were the triggers? I mean, there were a number of issues around why I ended up where I ended up. But one of the key contributing factors was that the FOMO that I got from watching others trade and make big chunks of money. Where you are in a hot market and you're seeing a lot of price action, and you want to, and you're seeing people post their P&Ls where they've got turnovers around anything between a few thousand, a few hundred to a few thousand to hundreds of thousands dollars a day. It can be very, very challenging to control those emotions as a beginner trader. And hats off to those of you who manage this very well and don't give into it. But often than not, I feel like it affected my decision making, especially deciding when to jump in and not to jump into opportunities. So as you know, I started trading and learned to trade day trading via Warrior Trading, which is through Ross Cameron. He's a great mentor. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. And I used to join in his daily log into his chat room and watch him whilst he traded. And often than not, I found that I was jumping into trades because of him, and it's not because he was encouraging us to do that. No, it was completely the opposite. It was the case that I just couldn't control the FOMO, and I didn't realize that this was what was happening at the time, and that really hurt me in many respects, because not only I was jumping in at least with 10 to 20 seconds delay whilst he was streaming, I was really contributing to the overall his overall position as I was buying in, and I'm sure so many others were too. So that meant that usually I'd jump into a trade without thinking, and I would jump in at the peak of it. And of course, there were times where I was profitable and I was able to walk away profitably. But at the end of the day, I couldn't turn around and explain to someone why I decided to jump into that trade without or where did I recognize where those points were. So since I ended my decided not to join those sessions, I found that there was a huge shift in my mentality and how understanding of where I was in my trading career. And that really highlighted a few things for me. Obviously, FOMO played a big part, because I was able to then dial back and reduce size, and I was able to then concentrate and focus on finding and fine tuning my strategy. Of course, every day is a learning day, and you learn by trading. But just taking that big element away from it, it really affected how I traded. And of course, you can learn a lot by being part of a chat group or a chat room or a Discord, but you've got to be careful on how that affects your mentality and how it affects your decision making. Because if you're closing a day with 50 cents or $1 in the green, and someone else is making a few hundred of thousands or hundreds of thousands a day, it's very difficult not to compare yourself to them. And if you're seeing that on a daily basis, then that really eats away at your confidence and your ability to control your emotions. So you need to be aware of the triggers, and that's what I realized, that certain aspects of certain things really triggered me. The other thing was social media, of course. I'll show some on the screen here as I'm talking about it. But seeing people's P&Ls at the end of the month on a daily basis, whether it's red or green, it really distorts the reality that you're in. And I think that's very important to bear in mind. And obviously, the consequences of that is the decisions that you make are not made out of a position of confidence or a higher probability. And by you adding that emotional factor in it, you're reducing your chances of actually uh, making that trade a profitable trade. I'm not saying that I've mastered and I've been able to, and I'm able to control all of these emotional aspects of it, but fear of missing out is something that I work on a daily basis. And the main the I guess the key way I found, or to control it, is shut out all that extra external noise, concentrate on any learning material that you have, and just turn up every day and risk as little as possible. That's how I've done it. I'm not saying that's what you need to do, but I'm just saying that that's how I did it. So I reduced my account size to only 500 shares. I am using an offshore broker. Of course, I've got leverage and margin with that. I don't use the leverage because I'm only taking 20 shares maximum position now. So I rarely use the leverage because my $500 account allows me to buy enough shares with when I'm taking 20 share position. And of course, the margin allows me to trade, take multiple trades and not be affected by the PDT rule. If I was otherwise, which I would have been affected by otherwise if I'd been with a US based broker. So just eliminating all that noise and all those distraction and some of the pressures, I was able to just focus and try to enjoy the learning journey. And I think that's another key, is to enjoy the journey. So how long will I continue trading this size? I think I will continue trading with the size that I'm in until I feel confident that I'm not giving in or jumping on positions out of fear of missing out. Of course, that's only one aspect of the trading psychology that I'm working on. But I just wanted to cover on this short video and see what your thoughts are, and whether and find out how you actually deal with it. How have you overcome a fear of missing out? Maybe you're one of those lucky people that doesn't affect you at all, and you're not really you don't feel left out when you're seeing all these other people make so much money, and you're able to fully focus on what you're doing. But I'd like to hear from you and see how what's been your steps to in order to overcome fear of missing out. I hope you found that video useful. But yeah, I'll be adding other episodes around trading psychology, things that I found useful and things that I've felt like highlighted the issues or the exacerbated trading losses that I was sustaining. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys soon.